Welcome to Rotowire TV. I'm Heather Ankeny, your host. He's the expert, Chris Liss, answering our fantasy football questions, really, because it is crunch time. I know I've drafted a couple leagues. I know you've drafted a few, but this weekend I think a ton of people are actually drafting. And my question for you is, I know you don't like acronyms and, fantasy football lingo. Yeah, the jargon. But it's something that I haven't really been thinking about that has been on my mind, more specifically today. Handcuffs. I've done a few drafts and I haven't even thought about handcuffing my running backs. And where do you stand on getting your back up to your
Well, we talked about this, right?
No, but not on the air. You and I talked about it.
Oh, really? I think we did. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Here's the thing. I'm not really big on them, and I'll tell you why.
But then also, sorry, who would you specifically handcuff in this?
Okay, there's like
draft?
one guy that everybody's talking about, which is Ben Tate. You have Arian Foster. It's the best run offense, run blocking, run scheme in the whole NFL. And so if you have Foster and you use your first overall pick on him, you might want to spend like a 6th round pick on Tate just in case Foster gets hurt, as running backs often do, okay? Because then you're pretty much guaranteed, unless they both get hurt, which sometimes does happen, but unless that happens, you're guaranteed like a top 5 running back production pretty much if things go to form, okay? But anyone else, I'm really not that high on handcuffing, if you want to use that term, because it's like, all right, so you have Frank Gore and you want to get Kendall Hunter because Frank Gore isn't that durable. Well, Frank Gore's not that great, so why are you backing up an investment that's not that important to your team? And then Kendall Hunter, maybe he would be good. He might be really good, but we don't really know. And it's kind of like you're playing defense. You're like, oh, something bad could happen. I'm going to make sure that I'm okay.
Yeah.
Why not play offense? Why not just go draft Ben Tate and screw over the Foster owner? And
well, that was my next question. Right. Like, where would you reach to get a Ben Tate just to screw over the Foster owner?
You got to go in round 6. It's like he's not going to last around 7. In like a 14-team league. Maybe in a 12-team league, it's round 7. He's not going to go to round 8. If you are the Foster owner and you really want to play some defense, which is in one case in which it's justified, in my opinion, go ahead and get Tate in round 6, round 7, depending on how deep your league is, because you can't take a chance. Just go get him if that's how you want to play it. But I like to play offense. I like to steal other people's backups. If my guy gets hurt, okay, well, then I'm going to have to deal with that, okay? If my guy doesn't get hurt, maybe someone else's guy will get hurt, and then I'll have an extra starting back, and I can trade him, or maybe he'll just be better than my back, and on bye weeks I can use different guys. So, I'm not a big defensive player. I like to play offense.
Okay. And I guess I just feel like in the past, there's always been sort of a very specific backup that you were taking, and now with all of this running back by committee, these aren't necessarily backups. These are change of pace guys that you could technically start in a flex spot, and especially in a bye week situation, some of these guys, know?
It's much worse, right? Because think about it, like you have Michael Turner, and you're going to go, I'm going to go get Jacquizz Rodgers. I'm going to get his backup. But then, Turner goes down, and then Jason Snelling is getting 15 of the carries, and Rodgers is getting, 15 and a couple catches. It doesn't really make that much of a difference, right? Because as you said, they're just a committee, so different guy steps up in the committee. Obviously, it's going to change someone's role, and it'll help them a little bit, but there's not that many situations like a Foster Tate where there's like a heavy workload starter and a backup you can count on. In the Eagles, who's LaShawn McCoy's backup? It's Dion Lewis. Well, Vic, might get more rushing touchdowns.
Exactly.
Dion Lewis, who is it? We don't even know if he would really get the carry. So Ray Rice, Bernard Pierce might be the guy, but would he really get the full workload? Maybe. If you're going to do it, you want a guy who's definitely the backup. I think Marshawn Lynch's backup, Robert Turbin, is likely to be the guy if that were to happen. I think Isaiah Pede is Steven Jackson's backup. But again, I'll take those guys anyway. I'm not going to take them just because I have Lynch or Jackson.
Right. Okay, cool. Well, thanks, Chris. There you go. Maybe handcuff your running back. This is Rotowire TV.